Have you ever met someone so strange that they completely changed your life? This was the case for a lonely woman in her 30s who worked a boring office job and had a very predictable and monotonous life. She lived in a small town and didn't really have any friends or family nearby. She spent most of her time at work and the rest of it in her small apartment. She was starting to feel like her life was meaningless and that nothing would ever change. One day, while walking home from work, she saw a new cafe that had opened up. She walked in and sat down. The cafe was small, but it had a cozy atmosphere and it was full of interesting people. She ordered a cup of tea and a pastry and started to relax. That's when she saw him. He was sitting in a corner booth, dressed in a purple velvet smoking jacket, sipping tea from a giant mug. He had a long white beard and a twinkle in his eye. He looked like an eccentric millionaire. She couldn't help but stare at him, and he caught her eye and smiled. She quickly looked away, feeling embarrassed. A few minutes later, he got up, walked over to her and introduced himself. His name was Barnabas, and he was a retired adventurer. He traveled all over the world looking for lost artifacts and having exciting escapades. The woman was amazed by him. She felt like her life was so boring and predictable, and his was full of adventure and excitement. She couldn't help but feel a little jealous. Barnabas sat down next to her and started chatting. He was so charismatic and funny that she soon found herself laughing and smiling. He told her stories about his adventures, and she told him about her life. As the night wore on, they talked about everything and nothing. She felt like she had known him for years. Before she knew it, it was closing time. She got up to leave. And then, something unexpected happened. Barnabas grabbed her hand and said, "I know your life is boring, but it doesn't have to be." He took her on an exciting adventure around the world. They went to see the Northern Lights in Norway, the pyramids in Egypt, and the Great Wall of China. They sailed the Caribbean, explored ancient ruins, and had wild parties with new friends they made along the way. The woman was amazed by the beauty of the world and by Barnabas's adventurous spirit. She realized that her life had been missing something, a sense of wonder and excitement. With Barnabas, she felt like a kid again. They eventually returned home, and the woman's life was forever changed. She had seen the world and had an exciting story to tell. She was no longer the same boring, predictable person she once was. Thanks to Barnabas, she was now a confident, adventurous woman who was ready to take on the world.